Salute everybody. I want to welcome everybody to this demonstration. Usher mom subpoenaed to testify against P. Diddy. Suge finally claps back at DJ Vlad, Reggie Wright Jr., and Mob James. I want to salute everyone that's catching this on the replay. I want to salute everybody that's watching from the clouds. I want to salute all my moderators. I want to salute you, him, and her. I want to salute the whole Rock Squad. And I want to salute all of my new subscribers. I'm going to salute individually. I'm going to read the copyright disclaimer, make a few announcements, and we're going to chop it up about Usher's mother being subpoenaed, what all she knew. Should she be held accountable? Because she, out of her own mouth, said that Usher went to live with P. Diddy. She said it was a business arrangement, but still, she allowed Usher to go live with P. Diddy. And also, we're going to be chopping it up. Yeah, Suge Knight has clapped back. He, finally mentioned Reggie Wright's name. He finally mentioned Mob James' name as well as DJ Vlad. Let's salute individual, and we're going to chop it up. Salute Suntan. I see you. Salute Suntan. Salute Juanita. Salute Blue Devil G. Salute Raw. Salute RAW Raw. I see you down there under row left. Salute. Let me throw up this disclaimer. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, scholarship, and research. This video that I call a demonstration is for education and entertainment purposes only. What you are about to hear in this demonstration is allegedly. I'm not saying that anything that I say is facts. It's all allegedly. So I don't want no one to think and take what I'm saying to be facts. It's all for educational purposes and entertainment as well. Salute Miss James. I see you. Miss James says she's cooking. What you cooking, Miss James? Salute Michelle. Appreciate you all for pulling up. Now, this thing with P. Diddy is, well, salute Sages. Well, it's been serious, but it's getting more deeper and more deeper. Ross says the reason I changed my handle is because I saw that my initials in the streets is a real 304. I got you, Raw. I got you. So everybody knows roll left is Raw, R-A-W, Raw. Grilled salmon and asparagus and rice. Oh, yes. Yes, Miss James. Make sure I get a plate. So, Usher. Let's start off by playing this. Let's start off because y'all know how I do. I like to have some facts. Salute Sharon. Salute Sharon. Salute Coach. Salute Coach. Coach says crazy world. Salute Sharon. Let's jump to some audio. Let's jump to some audio, y'all. I think that's where I want to start.
Mom also wants to set the record straight.
I know, and people know, that was around there in that time that Puff and Usher did have a situation. And that situation led Usher to the hospital.
Yo, Gene Deal is at it again, spilling y'all, and the plot just thickened with the Diddy and Usher situation.
Allegedly, Gene Deal is saying that Usher and P. Diddy had a situation, and whatever situation he's referring to, I mean, read between the lines. He's saying that that situation led Usher to the hospital.
Usher's mom, Jonetta Patton, is also like, enough is enough. The record needs to be set straight.
Remember, Usher went to stay with Puffy. Now, that was a business decision right there because I didn't know Puffy. I didn't know him.
So she's saying she didn't know Puffy. She didn't know Puffy. But Usher went to stay with him. And when he went to stay with Puffy, Usher was young. I think Usher was 12, 13, 14 years old. Why would you allow your son, 12, 13, 14 years old, why would you allow him to go stay with a man that you don't know? Drop a one if y'all would have let y'all son, 12, 13, 14 years old, drop a one if y'all would have allowed y'all son, y'all young son, to go and live with Puffy. Drop a one. Drop a two if negative. I wouldn't have never allowed my son to go stay with no man that I don't know. Blue Devil G says the H no. Miss Jam says the H no. Let's move on. Let's listen to some more. Now, this is Usher's mother. Won't need to drop the two.
If there's one thing Usher's mom should never have done, it was to allow Usher to go live with Diddy when he did, because Usher is never going to escape all these stories involving Diddy. But did you know that after Jonetta apparently found out what was happening with Usher at the Flavor Camp and Usher being taken to the hospital because of Diddy, she wanted to sue? Get seated, guys. It's messy. So Usher is catching more strays this time because he was mentioned in the latest lawsuit against Diddy by Lil Rod. Well, he wasn't exactly mentioned by name, but a redacted excerpt caught the attention of followers because it was clearly pointing to Usher. I mean, an artist who performed at the Super Bowl and had a successful Vegas residency, that sure sounds like Usher, right? As for the context in which Usher even came up, apparently, allegedly, Diddy was bragging to Lil Rod about hooking up with two people in the industry, one of them a Philadelphia rapper who dated Nicki Minaj, allegedly Meek Mill, and the artist who performed at the Super Bowl and had a successful Vegas residency. And now with Usher's name coming up again, apparently he's not the only one who is not having it. Sources have reported that his mom also wants to set the record straight about a few things that happened with Diddy. One of them allegedly being that Diddy is actually responsible for Usher ending up in a hospital, and that Usher's mom even wanted to sue Diddy. But even before that, when it comes to Usher's mom, there has always been the question about whether she knew what was going on. And I would.
How many of y'all believe that she knew what was going on? Drop a 1 if y'all believe that she knew what was going on. Drop a 1, y'all. Let me know. Do y'all feel as though Usher's mom knew what was going on? Because at some point, Ross says she don't feel like it. But at some point, Miss James, Blue Devil, G. At some point, when do the parents has to accept the accountability? At some point, y'all.
Understand why some people would think that she was complicit, because there were tons of reports speculating about what was going on back in the day. You want to tell me that she never read any of them, or nobody ever called her to tell her that something fishy was going on? The only thing Usher's mom previously said directly about Diddy was when she was asked how she was comfortable leaving Usher with people like Diddy and how she made sure people were not taking advantage of him. And she said that she had done her homework and knew it was the right call.
I was assertive. Okay. I did my homework.
Also admitted that she didn't know much about Diddy at the time when Usher was first signed to LaFace Records, but
if you did your homework, even though I don't believe, and y'all could help me out, even though in the beginning of P. Diddy's Bad Boy empire, even though, as Gene Deal even stated, P. Diddy wasn't moving as far as the sexual allegations, but he was always, well, a couple times he was in the news on some criminal type stuff. The situation that happened with P. Diddy, Sean, and J-Lo in the club. Also, the situation with Tupac as well as Biggie. Now, when you do your homework, exactly what homework did you do? Did you just do the basic homework? The basic homework is running a criminal background check. The basic homework is asking a few people about the character. Well, we definitely know that you have to do a thorough investigation when it comes to a person, because I'm the first to tell y'all, just because a person doesn't have a criminal background doesn't mean they never broke the law. Just because they may have this or that on their criminal background doesn't mean that they were arrested for something bigger, because you do know that people beat cases. Now, if you went to trial, let's just say for a homicide, and you beat that homicide, it's not going to show up on your record when somebody run your record. Any cases that you have beat, meaning any cases that you have taken to trial and found not guilty, it's not going to show up on your record. So just because you run a criminal background on somebody, you really can't determine off that criminal background what type of person they are. Now, Another way, as I mentioned before, you just asking people, what do you think of Puffy? Depending on who you ask, if you ask a bunch of yes men, and if you ask a bunch of women that's groupies, naturally they're gonna have nice things to say about him. So exactly what was it that she done when she done her homework on Puffy? We'll cross that road again in this demonstration, but let's hear some more. Salute to everybody that just pulled up in the chat. I see y'all.
Him to Diddy as a mentor, and Usher moved to New York to stay with Diddy. What Usher's mom said was that when Usher hit puberty, he basically lost his voice, and record labels no longer wanted anything to do with him. And Diddy, who was with him when the record label wanted to drop him, said he would take him and that Usher's mom just had to trust him. So she trusted him. And Diddy being Diddy, he totally took advantage of Usher, allegedly. In fact, according to sources, Diddy is even the one who turned Usher, but not because Usher wanted to. And stories have been told about some of Usher's skeletons as well since the Flavor Camp days. For instance, there was a time when he went to a gay club after some Broadway shows, and according to someone who also went to the club, everyone was in Usher's dressing room drinking champagne when someone came up with the idea that they should go to a club. That's when, the source claimed, the group went to a popular gay nightclub, saying, "We weren't looking for a gay club, it just happened. I mean, most of us were gay, so we just went to a place we knew." The source then said there were half-naked men everywhere, and Usher didn't seem to mind, adding, "Usher was talking all up in this guy's face. I thought the two of them were going to start kissing. At first, I couldn't believe my eyes, but then I thought, this is Chelsea, so anything goes."
And I'm going to be dropping the link later on in this demonstration. I know I haven't been dropping the link, and I know I haven't been inviting none of y'all on the panel lately, so I'm going to do that in this demonstration. So if you would like to join me on the panel and chop it up with me, just be patient and I will drop the link later on in the demonstration. Now, when it comes to this whole Transformer demonstration, me personally, I don't see nothing wrong if that's the lifestyle you choose, if that's your sexual preference. I've said it on numerous demonstrations. If you are a man and you sexually like men, hey, that's you. If you are a woman and you sexually are attracted to women, that's your thing. If you are into orgies, whatever you're into sexually, that's your thing. My only problem is if you're taking advantage of underage men or underage women. That's when it becomes a problem for me. Or if you are giving men and women drugs, if you are spiking their drinks, if you are forcing them, if you got to manipulate them to get them to perform sexual acts, then that's when I have a problem. So if that's what floats they boat, P. Diddy and the rest of them, if that's what floats they boat, then so shall be. But if he turned Usher out when Usher was a minor, when Usher was a child, then that's a problem. Let's listen to some more.
20 minutes after we got...
Why would I use kayak to compare hundreds of travel sites?
And I hate these commercials, y'all. Bear with me. Bear with me. I see everybody. Sweet Sable, I see you. Belinda, I see you. Pee Wee, Tommy, I see y'all down there. Salute.
Decided that it was time to leave. We all had a lot of fun though. I know he did. When it comes to the skeletons, Usher was also accused of spreading an STI by 2 women and a man. There's a woman named Quantasia Sharpton, along with a Jane Doe and John Doe, who sued Usher, claiming they all hooked up with Usher and they all said he risked their health by not telling them about his alleged diagnosis and were seeking unspecified damages. Of course, there's also the John Doe who claimed he spent the night with Usher at a Korean Koreatown spa in Los Angeles and also got infected. Baby, these lawsuits were swept under the rug, and there were even reports that Usher paid $1 million for it to go away. And the rumor mill is saying that this is the same diagnosis that landed Usher in a hospital courtesy of Diddy. And it's that incident that apparently pushed Usher's mom to sue. But there are people who still say to date that they don't believe that Usher's mom didn't know what was going on before the
Salute OG Patrice. I'm glad you pulled up OG Patrice because I'm going to be dropping my link. I'm hoping that you can hit the panel with me. I seen you on a panel with Reggie Wright Jr. I seen you on a panel with Reggie Wright Jr., OG Patrice, and I'm hoping that you can join me on the panel you could join me on the panel whenever I drop the link. But I did see you on that panel with Reggie Wright Jr., OG Patrice. Shank, you know they do pills back in them days. Correct. But here's my thing, y'all. Here's my thing. Now, when you have status as Puff Daddy had and has, when you have status as Usher had and has, when your name is Puffy, when you're P. Diddy, when you're Usher, like you shouldn't be caught up in none of these scandals. We talking about Puffy. You shouldn't have to force no woman. You shouldn't have to force no man. We talking about Puffy. We talking about Usher. How is it that they are getting caught up in these scandals? Like, are they thinking? Do they have common sense? Because I see you, Shano. What's up, Shano? You do know that you don't have to have a high school diploma. You don't have to have no kind of college courses under your belt just to know I can't do that right there. I better not do that either. I mean, it's just common sense that should register. Now, maybe it's the money. Maybe when people reach a certain income bracket, maybe the common sense goes out the window. Maybe. I don't know. But I just don't understand how Puffy will be caught in this. Usher will be caught in this. Let's listen to some more, y'all. And then let's listen to some more. Salute Miss Lady T. We got the dream team in the building. Dana J said he'll be pulling up a little later on. So salute to Dana J and his dream team. Let's listen, y'all.
incident. Well, when Usher was asked by Howard Stern whether his parents were okay with whatever was happening at the Puffy Flavor Camp, he said they had no idea what was going on.
Mary J. Blige, they ain't know nothing about this.
This allegation is also supported by the report that people who were working on Kim Porter's book before Diddy stopped it from hitting the shelves again said that Usher's mom confronted Diddy when she found out about what was happening and wanted to sue. Honey, what I'm having a hard time understanding is what happened with the lawsuit. Was Usher...
Now, help me understand, everybody. Help me understand. Now, when allegedly, all this is allegedly, when Usher's mom found out what happened, she wanted to sue. Y'all let me know if y'all was Usher's mother and the minute that y'all found out, would y'all take it to the streets and physically put hands on Puffy, or get somebody to put hands on Puffy, or would y'all sue? Because it keeps coming back to, was it all about the money? Was it all about the money? Because if you don't want to take it to the streets, and if you don't want to put hands on them, you mean to tell me you don't want to have Puffy prosecuted? Because you don't have to take it to the streets, but it's two ways legally that you can take it. It's two ways legally that you could take it. You could have Puffy prosecuted and brought up on criminal charges, or you could take it the civil way and sue him. I know it's tricky. I know it's tricky. I know it's tricky. Drop a 1. Let me get on the same page as everybody else. Drop a 1 if you think when celebrities are faced with these kind of situations. Drop a 1 if criminal charges should only be brought up against the celebrity. Drop a 2 if you think it should be a choice, either criminal charges or either you sue the celebrity. Because a crime definitely happened. Salute 80s, baby. A crime definitely happened. So why wouldn't the mother want to prosecute Puffy for the S.A. word against her child instead of suing for money? Is it a money grab? 80s baby said 1 and 2. OG Patrice says 3. I think it should be both. And is it wrong? Is it wrong if you go after the money bag? Blue Devil says, I think they tried to keep it quiet. Because when does the morals and values come into play? Ross says, if you could prove the crime, you can then file civil. Okay.
Usher's mom paid off? Was she threatened? And why is it that this issue was coming up after Usher has been named in the latest lawsuit? Is it that she finally feels compelled to say what happened? Or is she no longer afraid of Diddy because he does not have the power he had all those years ago? Well, in light of the lawsuit Lil Rod filed, Gene Deal has confirmed that there was indeed a situation that ended up with Usher in the hospital, baby.
And we're going to go to Gene Deal. Shout out to Gene Deal. Now I want us to chop it up about, because I get it. I get it. I even mentioned when it comes to a man having it done to them by another man, I said, you know, it's best to take the ass whooping than to have somebody take your ass. But salute Denithia, I see you down there. But in cases, and I think OG Patrice helped me understand, when you're dealing with powerful men, you know, you're not only putting your life in danger, you could possibly be putting your family life in danger. And let's just be honest, a man with money is very, very powerful, simply because he can pay somebody to do whatever it is that he needs done to you as well as your family. So I get it. Thank you, Denithia. Thank you, Denithia. Yes, the channel is back to being monetized. So y'all know how this works. If y'all would like to support the channel, I appreciate it. Let's go to my man, Gene Deal, y'all. Let's go to Gene Deal. And then I'll drop the link and feel free to hit the panel. We're also going to chop it up about Suge Knight claps back at DJ Vlad, Reggie Wright Jr., and Mob James. Now, I know many of y'all maybe not a big fan of Suge Knight, and I understand. But I have always stood 10 toes down with Suge Knight. I felt like Suge Knight made a couple mistakes, but I always felt that Suge always kept it real. He always kept it real. He took his L's. He took his L's. Now that everything is playing out, we see that P. Diddy was worse than Suge. Let's go to Gene Deal.
This car was found in Bear Country, man. Honey. What Usher got on Shay.
Looking at this lawsuit, right? Little Rod, he alleges that, Diddy told him personally that he had sex with Usher. And when you look at the lawsuit, even though they got Usher name redacted, you can tell who it is because they describe him as the guy that performed at the Super Bowl.
Right.
So, I mean, we all know who that is, but how you feel about that, man?
Well, I mentioned that earlier, that he said about Stevie J. The Usher part, that's a touchy situation, man. You know what I'm saying? Because I had a certain feeling, and I felt a certain way when Usher got on Shay Shay, and I don't mean to mention other people's platforms, but he got on Shay Shay and he mentioned how great and how good Puff taught him and everything. You know what I'm saying? About the business, right? I know, and people know, that was around there in that time that Puff and Usher did have a situation. And that situation led Usher to the hospital. Now, I let Usher explain that to y'all. I let Usher tell that story. But how dare you say a man that groomed you, you gonna give him a pass? Bro, you know I know. Let me reframe you on something. Remember, Usher? We was at the Swiss Hotel. Puff had Kim in the room. Had one of Keith Sweat's baby mothers in the big room outside the master bedroom. He came outside in his robe. She gave him a fellatio right there. His back was turned to me. She gave him a fellatio. You knocked on the door. I came and opened the door for you. Puff went in the room. You came in the room and kissed that girl dead in her mouth. Now I'm telling that because you taking up for somebody that you know, and a lot of more people know, didn't do you right.
So he's basically, salute Leslie, salute Spoken Facts. He's basically saying Usher has been taken up for Puffy after Puffy has done him dirty. And believe it or not, it happens all the time. I've witnessed it. And I'm sure many of y'all have witnessed it. Have y'all ever witnessed or have y'all ever experienced you could be good to a person and they treat you like ish. They talk about you like you the scum of the earth. But you'll sit and you'll see somebody else drag them. You'll see somebody else treat them like dirt. And they give that person the utmost respect. So I've seen it. And as I stated before, I'm sure all of y'all have seen it as well. Here you have allegedly Puffy turned him out, allegedly took his manhood from him, allegedly, and he still speak something good. I got OG Patrice. Now, OG Patrice is a veteran. She's been around. A lot of people know her. She knows what she's talking. She always come up on a panel and drop jewels. That's why I said this is going to be a demonstration where as though everyone else is welcome, but I want to get OG Patrice take on this situation with P. Diddy. Salute OG Patrice.
How you doing, Shane? Can you hear me okay?
Yes, you sound fine. I'm doing wonderful.
Okay, thank you. So exactly as far as the subpoena with Usher, is this documented that she has been subpoenaed? Is this public record of the subpoena?
Allegedly. You know, I have to say allegedly.
Okay. Yeah, because it can be looked up court records or on the FBI possible website. If she was subpoenaed, it should be public record. But because I don't want to speak on, I could speak on it, but it would have been definitely would have been better if it would have been proven that there's legal documentation that she has been subpoenaed. And if she have, and I'm gonna say allegedly too. So if she have, it's probably good, because at the time when this alleged incident happened between Diddy and Usher, he was underage, which means a crime was committed, right? Which means, from what my brother Gene is saying, which means that he went to the hospital, which means that there is patient records of this, which means once something like this happens to an underage child, CPS becomes involved, Child Protective Service. So if no charges or anything was ever founded with Diddy to be guilty, that means people were paid off. Honestly, that, that's what it's saying to me. It's saying that all day. Usher later became one of the biggest superstars of our time in R&B, right? And I think that was probably part of the deal that he made with his mother or his parents or whoever, along with a big settlement and an NDA for her to not speak about it. That's usually how it goes in the music industry. I've been in for 30 years. I've signed several NDAs myself, so I know how it goes. So you have a certain amount of years that you can't talk about it. And I would assume that Diddy probably would have had it a lifetime of not talking about it. It probably paid his mom or his family so many millions. It probably guaranteed he will become a mega star, which he did. So he fulfilled his side of the deal. She never spoke of it because we never knew of this until the rumors started coming out, and people like Gene and other people in the industry that was close to Diddy during that time, they were having it rumored around. So it was a lot of people that knew about it. And at the time, Gene was not working for Diddy. I'm going to say that. Let me be clear. He heard it through people that he still knew that was close to Diddy that worked in the industry.
Let me ask you something. Am I being too hard on Gene? Let me know. Am I being too hard? First, I really only have just probably two questions. But my question is for Gene. If you were there, and according to Gene, he was there, He said he wasn't around at all. Some other stuff he didn't see, but
Mm-hmm.
on some occasions he was there. If he
Right.
knew what was going on,
Mm-hmm.
why didn't he report it? Now,
But it depends on what part of what you're talking about, right? Because there's certain parts he speak of where he was there because he was there and paid to bodyguard Diddy, right? So now if you're talking about the incident where he's in the bedroom with Kim Porter, which was his lady at the time, and there's another young lady on the couch sleep, and he walks out of his bedroom and this young lady gives him fellatio, and then Usher comes and knocks on the door and retrieves the young lady on the couch and kiss her in the mouth. What is there for Gene to do in that case when all three of these people were consenting adults?
And I agree. What about the street activity that was going on around Bad Boy? Because he even stated
Mm-hmm.
they brought him aboard for the muscle because they knew he was about his work. Now,
Right.
one incident he mentioned the situation at Wolf. It was, situation with Wolf, and I'm not going to go into it, but
Mm-hmm.
he was present doing the street activity. I do believe he said when the sexual accusations and all of that came, as far as the men and as far as him forcing people and all of that,
Mm-hmm.
he did mention that, he don't really know too much about it. He heard, but the street activity, the gunplay, he was
Mm-hmm.
around. He was around.
Mm-hmm. Now I heard him mention that, because him, Diddy, Wolf, and all of them came up under the same gang, and Slick and the Family, which were like a group of guys that had through these parties and things of that nature. So they were all longtime friends. So there's a certain amount of loyalty, that guys and friends have when certain things were being done that Gene didn't need to be privy to or around because of his job working as a PO officer. He told me that, and he told a lot of people on his platform that they would tell him to leave. So with certain things that he wasn't privy to and didn't witness. Right now, could there possibly been some things? Absolutely. But if I was to say his reasoning for maybe not saying nothing in that moment, it's probably because his loyalty to the friendship of all of them. At that time, he had loyalty to Diddy as well as he had loyalty to Wolf. He was kind of the middle person in trying to resolve some things because remember, after the college incident, he left Diddy. He was pissed off. He left Diddy's like, I'm done. I'm done. Wolf begged him to come back years later. Right. So in between the college thing and Gene coming back is is you know and I will say this too, and I want to talk about the domestic violence situation that happened between Diddy and Misa and Diddy and Kim, because Gene was around for that, right? And he said that when Diddy and Kim would have their door closed, that's they in the privacy of their bedroom. If they get the fighting and he hears something, he will go up there, he will break them up, he would ask Kim if she's okay and things of that nature. He said he did that night when Diddy was jumping on Misa to the fact where she was crawling up under the car. He said he did break that up. But this is the thing again, and I want everybody to think about it. You're talking about consenting adults. These women still chose to stay with these men, even though these men were verbally abusive and physically abusive. When we see this happening every day with family and friends, we know that we have family and friends that women shouldn't stay with men that's jumping on them, and it's happening right now. And you could talk to them till they blue in the face and say, stay away, you need to leave, and they don't.
This is
Right?
true.
Because I met Kim Porter's first cousin. Her name was Kenya Porter. God rest her soul. She's deceased now. And she definitely said that her whole family for years used to tell Kim to leave Diddy. But didn't leave Diddy until Kim was ready to leave Diddy. Misa took a lot of verbal and physical abuse, as did Kim. So when you only doing your part as far as breaking up a fight between a man and his woman, you asking that woman, is she okay? But the night that Kim obviously got tired of Diddy jumping on her is the night that she slit his wrist with the corkscrew. And from that point on, I believe a lot of the abuse stopped because she fought back and fought back hard. So when you are saying it in the middle of it, how many of us family members have gotten in the middle of or broke up a domestic or a fight between relatives in a house or outside or at a family get together and something go down? But does that stop that person from continuing to be with that person? So at that point, it was only so much that Gene could do in that moment. He was hired to bodyguard and look after the safety and well-being of Diddy, right? So this is my perspective of saying that, and I'm a woman, right? But I know, and I have seen, I've had my own family members that have been in these type of relationship with guys that they shouldn't be in, and we're telling them that they need to leave before this man hurt them or unalives them, or they end up having to unalive the man. So I think that more of the focus should be on the perpetrator and not the people that's speaking and accusing. Now, his purpose for coming out, and speaking now after all these years, I don't know. But that's his prerogative. That's the thing. And I'm not telling you, Shank, that you can't disagree with some things. I can't tell you that you cannot, you know what I'm saying? I can't tell, no, you too hard or you ain't hard enough. That's not my judgment to call. I think Gene knew that when he spoke out, of course he was going to get questions, backlash, people going to doubt him or blame him. But this is the thing. When there are consenting adults, what do you think he really could have done to prevent that? Because I hear people saying, oh, he could have saved Misha and he could have saved Kim. Okay, it was times he did break them up and save them in that moment. But they didn't leave. They continued to stay and be with them and have children for this man for a long time.
You're definitely right about that. And even when it came to the Biggie situation, like he said, there was a couple people that was in Biggie's ear for him. So he mentioned, so I get exactly where you're coming from, and it happens all the time. And it seems like the more you try to keep a person, like you said, let's say if he would have intervened and he would have been like, not on my watch. Let's say if he would have put hands on P. Diddy. Kim, along with me, and I didn't see it. It didn't happen to me. He would end up getting hated by Kim and just because he came to their rescue. And I don't know why that happens, OG Patrice. Maybe you can help me understand that part. Why, when you go and you try to intervene and you tell this woman, look, you need to leave him alone, you come to their defense, why do they end up hating you?
It could be several reasons, right? Like, because a lot of times they don't want to hear the truth, right? And a lot of times women know deep down inside that they should leave.
You breaking up.
Yeah, I see that you freezing. I don't know if it's your end or my end. Can you hear me okay now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. So, a lot of times the truth hurts, and we've all been there of not wanting to hear it at some point in time. Okay. I don't know what's going on. All of a sudden, you're freezing.
You sound better now.
Okay. And women are not ready to stay, ready to leave relationships until they're ready to leave, whatever that looks like for them. And then there's cases of where I think there's some point of trauma bonding with someone, right? The trauma bond of the woman, the trauma bonds with the man that has trauma. See, because we have to realize too that Kim, I'm not sure about Misa, but I know Kim also indulged in some activity with Diddy. So I think in a sense of the obligation to stay, to trauma bond with this person, you end up having 3 kids, with this person. And there's a certain amount of loyalty that's expected. She got accustomed to living a certain lifestyle. Now she got these children. It's a lot that goes in that why women stay. A lot of them become battered women, and it's hard for battered women to get out of these type of relationships for a lot of reasons that are mental and emotional. So I think it's a combination of those things, right? So that's what I would say, looking at it from a woman's perspective. But I think a lot of the focus is on the wrong thing, because at the end of the day, no matter who's talking or not talking, at the end of the day, if it's proven that Diddy are guilty of these things, then ultimately Diddy is the one responsible for what's going to happen to him, not nobody else, because he's the one that did the actions. If it's proven at the end of the day that Diddy is proven to commit any of these crimes and he goes to prison, Diddy put himself there. That's the bottom line to that. And I think that when you have someone that is powerful as him, with the resources that he had, look how long it's taken people to finally come forward, to even be brave enough to even speak on him, as where people feared for their life. Because when I met Kim Porter's first cousin, she was a beautiful woman, just like Kim Porter. And when I tell you she was sick, that's how she ended up dying. And she died during COVID, right? And my best friend and I went to her funeral, and she said that she engaged in a lot of that lifestyle back then. She showed me pictures with her and Kim Porter and Kimora and Misha and Mary J. Blige. Back then, she was partying, she was drinking, she was drugging, and she was engaging in those escapades, right? So now she's looking back at her life. She don't look the same. She was very, very sick. I'm sure she's died. She ended up dying from something related to either probably her drug abuse or probably even, that 4-letter word, right? So, and she still feared talking, because guess what? She had children that she was leaving behind, that she was afraid for their life. She said those things to me in my BFF. So now you got people that are talking. And these people have to be protected. These people are afraid, but they are finally speaking up. And it started years ago, even before Cassie even came out with her lawsuit. It was women people don't know that was speaking up. But guess what? Lawyers wouldn't even touch their cases. They were talking about Diddy years ago.
Yeah. The lady that was pow pow in that nightclub, Natanya Rubin, she been came out. She said when she was going into surgery, that's all she was saying is that's who pow me. And the surgeon even spoke up and said that that's who she said. And well, maybe let me backtrack. She said, did she settle out of court with Puffy? To your knowledge?
Well, she won her case. She sued him and won her case. She got, I think, $1.8 million, right? Because she was the only one that could lawfully hold him responsible for that incident.
Right.
And then of course she said even up until just recently, a few years ago, she was still getting harassed. She
Yeah,
would walk outside and her all four of her tires would be slashed, things like that.
yeah, yeah.
Brand new tires. She said she changed them about 7 times because she was still being harassed by people connected to him. So when you're looking at somebody that has that type of power and resources to use scare tactics, fear tactics, and things of that nature to stop you from talking, to stop you from testifying right against them, that's a lot of power. So now you got this new law comes out, in the state of California and New York that say, hey, if you got any civil case that you want to file against someone, you have a certain amount of time that you can do that. Because guess what? In as far as federal or maybe local or state, the statute of limitations will be up for those cases. But civil, you can get them civil.
Right.
And I know just alone, the state of New York had over 3,000 cases once that new law was brought into play. And that set the precedent. And I think the fact that it took someone like a celebrity, someone like Cassie to come forward, then that really started the snowball to rolling, right? Because now they see she had enough nerve to finally come forward after being with him and being abused for 10 years. And the thing is, in her lawsuit, set the precedent for the FBI to investigate. Guess what, y'all? Because even though she signed the NDA, but the things she put in her case were found to be unlawful and possibly a criminal case. So in that case, her NDA is null and void. That's why she was subpoenaed and working with the FBI because of the things she put in her lawsuit.
Mm. Did
So,
everybody hear that? Did everybody hear that? Now, I want to go to Suge. We're going to come back to Pete Diddy. I want to go to Suge because for so long, Suge has kept quiet. You had James, you had Lad, you had Reggie Wright Jr., along with a whole lot of other people saying a lot of stuff about Suge. Now that Suge, first of all, have you been watching any of his episodes? Did you get a chance to watch his episode?
Oh yeah, I am subscribed. I've been watching all of the episodes since they first started. Yeah. Can you hear me? You
Yes,
frozen again. Okay.
yeah, we keep going out.
Hmm.
What is your take on Suge? Do you think that Suge is just trying to stir up some controversy to get this podcast jumping, or is it some truths to what Suge is saying?
Oh, I absolutely believe there's some truth to what he's saying. His motives for doing it and waiting so long to start talking. I'm not sure of that, right? But absolutely, I do believe some things he's saying is true, especially in regards to the night that Pac was unalived, or even to a certain extent to something that has to do with the case for Biggie's unalivement, right? So when you look at some of the things that he said, and I want to give a shout out to the producer that pulled my question on Suge Knight's platform that I asked Reggie Wright. That was actually broadcast on this episode that's currently out on Suge's podcast, where I questioned some things that I felt like Reggie Wright had gave several different stories on, right? I feel that there are some misconceptions there, and he has told 2 or 3 different stories to different scenarios of about the night that Pac was unalived.
What were some of those? OG Patrice? Talk to us. What were some of those?
Well, particularly the question that I asked, one of the questions I asked is because he said in a couple of incidents that he got a phone call, almost immediately went after the shooting. And my question was, how did you even know at that point to even get a call, and who was that call from? You know what I mean? And he told on two different platforms. He told the story of where he was told when he was at the 662 club. Then he told another story of that Suge told him at the hospital. So when I posed that question to him, he totally had a different answer for me. So that's why they put it on Suge's podcast. And Suge said, that's not right. Yeah, because I knew that Reggie Wright had absolutely told two or three different stories, but of course he danced around it. I could because I get brought the heat, right? And a lot of times where there's smoke, there's fire. I said, hey, but you said this on one platform that you was told when you got to 662. I said, and then now on another platform, I heard you say Suge Knight told you when you got to the hospital, and Suge Knight said, no, that's not true. I ain't never tell him nothing. I'm getting sold up, my head getting sold up because I got bullet fragments in my head. Like, nah, you lying, Reggie.
Do you think Reggie is behind the death of Tupac?
Ooh, that's a loaded question.
On that walkie-talkie, or was it was a walkie-talkie correctly? When
Yeah,
it
was those.
Go ahead.
Yeah, it was those Nextel walkie-talkies that they had out back in the day.
Right. A voice
So,
comes across, we got him.
so now the thing of it is this: why, first of all, was Reggie even there? Because that was one of my questions. Is because Tupac had already fired him for working for him. But the thing is that he was actually hired and working for Death Row Records. So at that point, even though you're not Pac's principal anymore, you still working for Death Row. So my thing was why you wanted to be any proximity, close or around Pac when your main point of view should have been probably Suge Knight, maybe. So why did you have such proximity, and who will call you? You know what I mean? After Pac had fired you, who will call you so quickly and say, "Yo, this shooting has occurred." And then you say, "Oh, by the time I get to 662, so and so told me." Then on another podcast, you go, "Oh, but when I went to the hospital, Suge told me." So which one is it, Reggie? And that was my question. So I just found some things to be, um, suspect. Do I believe he has something to do with it? I believe a lot of people did, if that makes sense. I think that there was something organized, planned, and plotted for the execution of Tupac Shakur, unfortunately. So I'll just say that.
It definitely was. I mean, once again, it don't take a rocket scientist. Tupac was gunned down on the Las Vegas Strip, and whoever it was that gunned him down got away. And I've had Reggie on the platform several times, and I've asked him questions. This is the main question that I asked him, and you can weigh in on this. You have an entourage, 15 cars or more of Death Row security, the homies. You have one car, one alleged white Cadillac with 4 Southside Crips in it, with one pow. They're going to take the chance. There's only one pow in the car. And they're going to take that chance and push up on an entourage with 15 cars or more of the opposite gang. You got Crips, you got the Bloods. You had to be insane to take that chance. Reggie said, well, in Compton, and he did answer it, and he gave a legitimate, answer. He said, in Compton and gang banging is ride or die. You know, it is what it is. But to me, that's a suicide mission, OG Patrice. What is your take on it actually being Orlando Anderson, Keefe D, and the other two Southside Crips in that car? Can you see them even taking that chance? One car up against 15 or more cars.
Well, originally we had heard that the car pulled up next to the car that Suge and Pac was in, right? And then that's when the powwowing started happening. From what Keefe D first said, they pulled up on the side of them, right? Because they both were going in the same direction. So now you got two cars side to side in a two lane, right? Both going in the same direction. So now, from what I'm hearing now that way it makes sense. But from what I'm hearing now, allegedly, Suge saying somebody ran up on the car.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? Like either they got out of a car and ran up to him, or they ran up to him from somewhere and started powwowing, right? So now, who would you believe? The one that was actually a witness in the car that was being shot at, or the people that's saying what they heard other people say that wasn't there?
I've always went with Suge. I've always believed Suge. How much time do you got with me, OG Patrice?
I got a little more time.
Let's go to Suge Knight.
Okay.
Connected.
This is his latest episode that dropped today.
With the games we love. So now that the NCAA tournament is done, it's all about the NBA and the new MLB season. With Prize Picks, you can use your sports smarts to turn predictions into cash. Think you've got the skills?
I don't want to hear that.
Picks across the NBA, NHL, or Major League Baseball. It's you against the stats. No massive competition, just your choices. Check this. I bet on Steph Curry to score over 29 points.
I don't want to hear that. Salute to the chat. Salute to the chat. It's coming up.
So download the app today and use code. Match up to $100. Pick more, pick less. It's that easy. Download the Prize Picks app today. Use code. Match up to $100. Don't miss out. Lead the charge. Share your wins. Tag at.
Yeah. I'm coming, OG.
Yeah, I believe you told someone right after the shooting, not long after the shooting. How did you know so quickly that the shooting had even taken place?
Maybe I didn't know until I went to the hospital when we sitting around everybody crying, and I went in the emergency room and talked this shit up.
Why would you say that? When were you aware of what happened in Vegas? Was it the night Tupac was shot, or was it later on the 13th when he passed away?
No, it was the night he was shot. Reggie Wright Sr. was our boss. He was lieutenant in charge of the gang unit. His son, Reggie Wright Jr., was the head of Right Way Security. So naturally, they talked. So after the night Tupac was shot, they talked, and Reggie ended up hearing what happened. So he called Tim and I. We were on our days off, and he told us, "Hey, man, Suge and Tupac just got shot in Vegas, and we're hearing it's Southside Crips." He goes, "Man," he goes, "it's coming back to Compton, so y'all better get ready, because it's coming." And sure enough, it did.
Yeah, I get it. You guys doing this stuff for the fame. But James, let's tell the truth. You a bullshit. You on some stupid shit. Reds, your mother raised you way better than that. And I'm not trying to be funny or joking or nothing. Your mother's an incredible mother. Like my mother was a incredible woman. That's what we had good in common. And that's what we all had in common. Now, I'm going to give you some credit. You more street and slicker than James. Reds, you can never be the type of cop James is. James is way better cop than you. He done sent more months to the penitentiary from the hood than anybody.
How do you feel about the paperwork that came out a few months ago regarding Mob James, where, you know, the paperwork shows that Mob James snitched on somebody named FG from Cross Atlantic?
Oh, back in 2005, I was in MDC. It's called Metropolitan Detention Center. It's a federal holding center, or for pre-trial, downtown LA. I was down there doing a violation, and that was going all through the building. You know what I'm saying? Reason I never brought it up because it ain't my fucking business. But that's all that was going through the building. The Mob James set people up. He did some shit in Las Vegas. This and that. You know what I'm saying? And his co-defendants was in there, and his enemies was in there. George and Boulevard Rock was in there. I used to talk to him through the vent and all that shit. But his name was popping up in there. He saying he was snitching and all this shit.
How much of Keefe D are we to believe? Because Keefe D, come on, OG Patrice.
I would say at this point, Keefe D would have very little credibility, right? Because he's been caught in some lies too, and I think it's probably to save his face from things he said earlier when he thought that proffer deal was going to save him. But that proffer deal was with California. It wasn't with Las Vegas. And the unalivement happened in Las Vegas. Why do you think he's arrested right now? You know what I mean? So, not credible. He's the only living person that was in that car the night Pac was unalived. Unfortunately, the other three is not here to defend themselves or tell their side of the story, right? So now, if a lot of things in Keefe D book was allegedly true for what he said, then he's not talking much of the truth right now. He's backpedaling, right? Because he's trying to save his butt. Mm-hmm. Now, when it comes to that question that I asked on Suge Knight's platform, did you hear what he said? He said, "Why would you say that?"
Yeah.
Which means, that's not true, Reggie. And what did you hear that retired police officer say? Reggie got that call from his dad because his dad was over the, department there in LA. So immediately he got that call from his dad. So now, Reggie, which one is it? You said Suge. You told me when I asked that question just a minute ago, you said Suge told you when you got to the hospital. Then on another platform, you said, "Oh, I found out when I went to the 662 Club." So which one is it? That's three different lies. And I would say, why is LA so connected to Crips? Why is Reggie Wright and them so connected to Crips? And why was Reggie Wright's father so feared? And I asked that question to him. He goes, "Oh no, that was respect." That was no. His father was feared in LA. It's a difference between respect and revered and feared.
Allegedly, Reggie Wright Sr. and Reggie Wright Jr., if not both of them, one of them is behind the death of Montreal. Montreal was Suge's right-hand man, Mob James' brother. They say Reggie Wright Sr. and Montreal went to the gas station. Reggie Wright Sr. went into the gas station, and that's when Montreal got out to pump the gas, and the rest of that. How much of that do you believe?
I believe there's some validity to it. I'll just say that. I believe there's some validity to it. But, I also asked him about my god brother. See, a lot of people don't know Frank Alexander was my god brother. He was the main principal to secure Pac. He worked for Right Way, right? But after Pac parted ways with Right Way and Reggie Wright, he still hired Frank as his principal. So now Frank is still working for Right Way, but he is the only one that can bodyguard Pac. and the threats that came to my god brother, they asked him to lie at first. He talked about all of these things. It's documented. Lie about the gold chain being snatched and all of that, and then threaten. And I asked Reggie Wright why, and he's oh no, it wasn't a threat. I was just asking him what he gonna do. And then my god brother mysteriously, someone that is military trained, know the ins and out of breaking down a weapon, putting it back up. If a bullet is left in the chamber, all of a sudden pow himself in his home. Wow.
I wasn't buying that. He mentioned that someone said to him, "Death Row wants you dead."
Mm-hmm. That's what I was talking about the threat. He was like, "Oh no, I was just really asking him what he gonna do." I said, "No, but you all said somebody wants you unalived." That from out of Frank's mouth came from you, Reggie, right? But like I said, he danced around it, but
I always felt that the cops had some kind of involvement in it. I always felt like it wasn't Orlando Anderson. If it was, they had help by the cops. Nobody gets away like that. That was just like a
Can you hear me? Because it's getting choppy again. Hello? Are you there? Yeah, we're breaking up again. I don't know. You want me to drop down and come back up?
Oh, salute, pretty problem niche. Salute, pretty problem niche. All I know is get good when I'm dropping jewels. I got somebody on the panel that dropping jewels. All I know is I'm always experiencing technical difficulty. My numbers, people be saying, my notifications, people be saying, Shank, I hit the bell like button and I still don't get notifications. My numbers, like 100 people, 200 people in the chat, and my numbers are only show that I got like 6 or 7. I don't. Can you hear me?
Yeah, it's choppy again though. But somebody else that was live today was complaining about how StreamYard and all of that on YouTube has been acting crazy today. Yeah, but in closing, because I got to get back to work, but in closing, I would just have people. I understand that people feel a way and they may agree to disagree with some things, when it comes to Gene Deal or anybody else that's speaking up now. I would say if the focus can be more on the perpetrator than the people that's accusing the perpetrator, then I think that there will be a better understanding. So I would just say leave it open. It's okay to agree to disagree with some things, and I don't try to change anyone's mind, but I also try to have a balance of both sides, right? Because are you there, Shank? You frozen. Oh, he fell off, you guys. Let me see if he'll come back up. And I can't tell if you guys can hear me because I'm on my phone and I can't see. I was going to say put a 1 in the chat, but I can't tell because I can't see because I'm on my phone. Maybe he'll come back. Oh, there he is. There you go.
Now
can you hear me okay? And you still choppy. That's crazy what's going on.
Well, you just finished. Go ahead. Oh, Patrice.
I'm sorry. What did you say?
You talk because you sound good.
Oh, okay. Okay. No, I just wanted to leave everybody with that thought, and just say I think we should focus more on the things that these people are saying that happened to them, and if Diddy is found guilty of these things more so than the people that's accusing him of these things, right? Because if he's found to be guilty, then nobody's at fault of the nefarious things that he's done except Diddy, and Diddy gonna have to pay the piper for that. When we look back of a history of him, he got away with so much under the radar, from the college pow powing to the club pow powing, and a couple other nefarious things over the years. So now there's a thing called karma, whatever you want to call it, that I think is coming back to bite him. And will he get away with it this time? Probably not. I believe because this is Homeland Security and FBI, whatever, he's gonna catch something because they have a 99% rate. Like, that's how deep it is, and they don't come at you unless they already got something on you. They just digging deeper but below the surface for even more. If they don't get them for nothing but RICO, or maybe some form of trafficking, or money laundering, embezzlement, tax evasion, they gonna stick them with something, like real talk. So at the end of the day,
Do you believe Tupac?
I'm sorry.
Do you believe that Diddy put the hit out?
I believe that if that $1 million check that Gene Deal was talking about, that was allegedly paid for, that was supposed to get split by Zip and by Keefe D, if they can trace that check back to the unalivement of Pac, then there you go. Who wrote that check? Where did it come from? Because during that time, the only people that had that type of money was people that had big record labels like Arista, Bad Boy Records, and so forth. So if that can be proven in some kind of way, that could possibly be led to solving Pac's crime, which possibly can be led to solving Biggie's. Because Suge Knight said, if you find out who killed Pac, you're going to find out who killed Big. So some kind of way they are linked, or similarities of one and the same people, or a combination of both.
And that's what Suge said. Let's listen to some more Suge.
Other thing is this. I never, ever, ever gave Orlando Anderson $1 for me personally. Red's father, Big Red, said that on the interview. He said, the crazy thing about all that is that Orlando Anderson was suing Tupac for beating his ass. So he lied. Best friends of one rank guy in the PD and the sheriffs. Who's was the case? Premier, Danny Smith, the security and all that kind of stuff. There's a lot of negative things going on for the company's name. He felt it be in his best interest not to keep moving forward. Now, Reggie Jr. got shit. Big Reg wanted me to hire him. He said, give me a job doing anything, right? So I said, well, it can't work for me directly at none of these guys. So I helped Reggie Jr. instead of right way security. I laid the thing to help him out. And all this stuff about Reg said, he told me that the homies, a couple of homies wanted to do something to me, kidnap me or whatever, right? Well, he reported that to his superiors. So that's not paint a picture that's not true. But it's still a respect level. I get it. You guys get paid to do those interviews. But there's so much other things you can talk about. Forced corruption in the city or the PD. I never complained about the sheriffs use my luxury box in a Staples Center. I was in prison. They went every game without my knowledge or my permission to see Kobe and Shaq. All the expensive champagne, wine, steak, I got arrested one time with Pino. They took my earring, what was cost over $100,000. They told me that was 3 police who could have took it. Never got it. I don't play these games. but the truth is the truth. One thing for sure, one thing for certain, everyone claims and thinks, the whole world thinks, that Pac got shot and then died because he was a man of man. Everyone but Snoop. This is Snoop words why Pac ended up dead. You know me, I keep the receipts. At the same time, I did a whole lot of great things for Snoop, with Snoop. Snoop, you know my motto. A man don't be a bitch about it. If you say it once, you should be able to say it twice. If you can't say it twice, don't say it once. So I'm going to tell you like this. Once you repeat what you said to some of us, repeat it. About the part when you said, Pac is dead. He got killed because he was running around being radical. Radical, that's your words. It was way more aggressive than that. And the crazy thing about it, Pac, myself, always gave you love, respect, even when your own turned against you, we rode with you. For this to happen, this to be in my knowledge.
Hidratantes a base de plantas.
So I'm going to let it play, but he's leading to. Let me let it play.
Exactly what you say. Being with Puffy, Keepy, crooked cops, that ain't gangster. Whoa. He ain't glad he never met me. If you really know.
So in this episode, he let for us to believe that it was actually Snoop behind Tupac's death. What do you think, Patrice? What do you think, OG?
I think he was alluding to Snoop was aware and there may be some knowledge of something going down because Snoop also had the Nextel walkie-talkie chirp and heard things that was going on, and Snoop was all the way in California. So why would he need a Nextel walkie-talkie to keep up with the ins and out of what's going on regarding Vegas? He could have just went if that was the case. So I think he's saying, and then for if Snoop really did say this, Pac is on a lie because he was being so radical. What a statement to make of your fellow mate, label mate / friend, right? So I think all those things kind of come into question when it's coming from Suge's point of view. So that's where I think he was coming from at that time when he said that it's like he's given a side eye to a lot of things that Suge allegedly has said or his behavior and character now, since Suge has been locked up, which is questionable, right?
We're gonna have to do this over, OG Patrice.
Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna have to
Yeah.
redo that.
Well, hopefully your chat heard and you'll be able to play back some of it and get some good content from it. I'm glad I was able to come up and answer any question that you have to ask. And please know that these are my views and point of view and opinions. It's not those of Big Jeans or anybody else. I speak from my own perspective and point of view in the things that I say. So I just try to give people both sides of the coin to look at. And I'm going to tell you why, Shank, right? Because I've been in the business for 30 years. I told you that I was on the blues sector side. I have seen so much nefariousness go on that side. And if the things that I saw If I would have, and I'm not saying I saw anything like none of the stuff Puff is getting, that's alleged with Puff. But we know from way back in the 70s and 80s and 90s in the music industry, that powder has been there, always have. I've seen it my whole life of being in the industry. I've seen it backstage. I've seen it in the green room. I've seen it. People doing it. I never indulged. Thank you, God, that God saved me from that life. And I knew that people in that lifestyle was having those threesomes and those orgies and things of that nature. Thank God. I never indulged in none of that. But the times when I was around where people was doing the uh the things like backstage and things of that nature, if I would have called the law, a lot of innocent people in that moment would have gotten in trouble, with myself included, because I was there. So I think a lot of times you got to look at both sides of the spectrum. You're literally backstage where there's thousands of people waiting to come and see you perform, and everybody ain't innocent, and it's a lot of people that is innocent. And the people that ain't innocent that's doing the things, if you was to call the law in that moment, a lot of innocent people would have went to jail, with, like I said, myself included. So what decision are you gonna make? And you making, you there for a show, and you this is your job, and you traveling and touring all over the world, and you know that this is a part of the game. These people become your friends. Some of them are your family members, and you don't agree with what they're doing, right? But you're there and it's happening. And you know that if I call the law, not only am I going to prison, but it's a lot of innocent people going to prison too. And people just did not tell those things back then. And a lot of those people, including my cousin, who was a famous blues singer that I toured with, he's no longer with us. He indulged in that lifestyle. I have no problem saying it. So when you look at in certain situations, right, and being in that moment, and you think, because it was so many times I was scared. I was like, Lord, if the cops come and bust up in this, in this theater and come backstage, Lord, we all going to jail. They're gonna be like, oh, just the ones that's doing it, they just line up over here. We only gonna take them to jail. They taking everybody. So in that moment, if you make that choice, you got to deal with you and other innocent people that don't have nothing to do with what the other people are doing. And I just want to say that it was different, coming up in them times. That was considered like the norm. Drug use was considered the norm coming up in the entertainment business. Like I said, I came up where the powder was the predominant drug of choice. So just give people a different perspective to think about it. Now, it was many times after I was done with my job, I got the hell out of there. Because I said, Lord, if it do come and they do come a knocking, I don't want to be here. So I had no problem. I do my job. I get off that stage. I got a contract. My check is in the mail. Period. I didn't indulge in that part of the lifestyle, but did it happen? Hell yeah. Was it around me? Hell yeah. But if I'd have told in that moment, a lot of innocent people would have went to prison, myself included. And I digress from that, bro. So I just want to give people another perspective and a balance to think about when you caught up in certain situations.
Well, OG Patrice, as always, it's a pleasure to have you up on this panel. But I got to do this demonstration over. So I'm just
okay. Yeah.
I'm hoping, of course, I'll make sure I send you the link and you can let me know what's a good time. It'll probably be, what's the day, Wednesday? It'll probably be Saturday. I'll probably come back and do this demonstration again Saturday, because there's so much that needs to be put out there. And you've said so much, but all I'm like, oh man, come on. I got OG Patrice up here dropping jewels.
Well, I hope I just, like I said, I shed some light and give people another perspective, to think about. And if I'm not busy, of course, I don't mind dropping through and giving you a holler for sure. Thank you for
Right.
having me.
All right, appreciate you, OG.
All right, take care now.
All right. Rock Squad, I apologize. It just seems like every time it get good over here, whether it's me giving an excellent demonstration, whether it's panelists up here with me, such as OG Priest, dropping rules, all into difficulties. I'm trying to branch to other social media platforms for Instagram and these other TikTok. I'm trying. So make sure y'all are following me on my other social media platforms. I don't experience these difficulties on Facebook. I don't experience these difficulties on TikTok. It's only YouTube. So make sure y'all subscribe and follow me on those other social platforms. I have to completely just walk away from YouTube. So make sure, because it will upset me if I lose any of y'all, as followers and as subscribers. If I'm on the other social media platforms and if I don't see any of y'all, it's going to upset me. I value all of my moderators. I value all of the Rock Squad. And that's past moderators to present moderators. That's past Rock Squad members to present Rock Squad members. I do miss y'all. So make sure y'all are following me and subscribe to my other platforms, because as I said, I might have to shut YouTube down because I'm experiencing difficulty all the time. And look how long it took me to get back monetized. So make sure y'all are following me and subscribe to my other platforms. Salute Snap and Turtle. And once I get the demonstration schedule, I'll send it out to everybody that's following me on Instagram and as well as Facebook. And if you're not following me on Instagram, my Instagram handle is ShankRock1218. So make sure you are following me on Instagram. Also, podcast with me, Pee Wee, and Tommy. We're going to be doing demonstrations on that platform soon. Pee Wee and Tommy is back to normal as far as, they were issues, and they're both back on their feet. So make sure y'all are subscribed to the Still Swinging Podcast. Once again, me, Pee Wee, and Tommy, we will be doing demonstrations soon on Still Swinging Podcast. Make sure y'all also subscribe to the backup channel, After Dark with Shank. If you would like to support the channel, membership, look at the chat and you'll see the dollar symbol. You purchase membership. Some demonstrations that I do, I make them only available for members only. So that's the benefits of the membership. You'll have access to some of my demonstrations that other people don't have. Miss Lady T says, I wanted to get into that as well, Miss Lady T, but allegedly, I always have to say allegedly, Little Rod and his lawyer got caught lying. So I definitely wouldn't do that, but the technical difficulties is too much, so make sure y'all follow me on Instagram so y'all can get the link. That way y'all will be notified when to come live. Saturday is when you will see me again. So y'all know I got a certainty. So if you don't get the link, if you don't get the notification, check for certainty. Salute Squad and everybody else.
The piranhas ate the beat.
Big Lou, Shane Rock, 8 niggas, where the work at? I got some bad bitches bout they bread, they be twerking. Get a boosty boo in the boot, brain it working. Got the money, lotion up my palms, like it's some jerky. Yeah, I hit that 2-step, time to, I'm about money. She say that pussy good and sweet, bet it tastes like honey. I be chasing for them dollars, I be looking for them stacks. Bet lil' mama gon' holler when I hit it from the back. Yeah, doggy style of ass, got her screaming out, man. They already know it's mob, ain't no need to explain. Got it tatted on my nigga, can't go against the grain. Fuck what they talking, it's $1 million thing.
Got $1 million thing, I don't give a fuck. Before I beat that pussy up, I'm trying to finger it up.
She stay up in the bed, now watch her toot it up.
Before I beat that pussy up, I'm trying to finger it up. I'm trying to $1 million thing, I don't give a fuck. Before I beat that pussy up, I'm trying to finger it up.
She stay up in the bed, now watch her toot it up.
Before I beat that pussy up, I'm trying to finger it up.
See, my fuck game is straight, yeah, I lay down long. It's a scratching, banging on my chest like I'm King Kong. A very freaky girl, like a type to take the mama. Had a crushing pill, smoking weed like a combine. Not the cutest nigga, but my pimp game strong. Ooh, nigga, no Viagra, but my dick stay hard. Up and down chick, cause she help me put in work. Catch your ass slipping while you flirting with her skirt. See, I live life the G-way, getting on the freeway. She look good, but pimpin' ain't easy. If she ain't nasty, since she can't please me, I'm seductive type. Touch me, tease
Got $1
me.
million thing, I don't give a fuck. Before I beat that pussy up, I'm trying to finger it up.
She stay up in the bed, now watch her toot it up.
Before I beat that pussy up, I'm trying to finger it up. I'm trying to $1 million thing, I don't give a fuck. Before I beat that pussy up, I'm trying to finger it up.
She stay up in the bed, now watch her toot it up.
Before I beat that pussy up, I'm trying to finger it up.
It's $1 million affair, the jewels be gleaming. When I walk in, them pretty hoes be scheming, trying to figure a way that they could give me a threesome. By the end of the night, them sucker niggas be beaming, but I'm on my shit, the 4/5 on hit, just in case them niggas right there wanna trip. I knocked a sip for his chick a few years ago, put her up on some game, showed her how to get dough. I got $1 million THANG in the club with a BADDIE. She said she loves me in that movie, OG like me, and all them hoes from her hood wanna see about me.
Got $1 million thing, I don't give a fuck. Before I beat that pussy up, I'm trying to finger it up.
She stay up in the bed, now watch her toot it up.
Before I beat that pussy up, I'm trying to finger it up. I'm trying to $1 million thing, I don't give a fuck. Before I beat that pussy up, I'm trying to finger it up.
She stay up in the bed, now watch her toot